I want to share with you how to choose a nutrition plan that is going to work for you. I'm going to give Facebook a second here to get some of you guys on. I'm going to send some of you some requests here. There's this great new feature in Facebook where you can go on and invite people who you think would benefit from this. So if you feel that someone else would benefit from this live training as well, feel free to add them, to share this video out. I think it's going to be really helpful. Again, we're going to be talking about how to choose a nutrition plan that works for you. Oh my goodness, there's so many people I could invite here. Okay, I wish there was just like an invite all button. If you guys are hopping on here, I can't see you right now, but if you're hopping on, say hi, let me know you're here so I can see you. Tell me where you're from. I want to get into doing more of these live trainings for you guys because I think it's going to be really beneficial for you. Make sure to share this out if you feel your friends, family can benefit from it. Okay, now how to get back to you. There we are. Hey guys, thank you for joining. So we're going to talk about today how to choose a nutrition plan that works for you, one that's healthy, one that's enjoyable, and one that's sustainable for you. Make sure to let me know if you're here so that I can see you. I can't always see everyone, but we can go ahead and get started. I want to start these training videos each and every time with a little bit of gratitude. So if you wouldn't mind commenting below something that you are grateful for today while I share my gratitude for the day. So I am grateful for my kids and all that they teach me. I think our children are truly reflections of us. They show us the good things that we're teaching them and maybe the things that we need to work on ourselves. So we were in the car yesterday and I said to my 4-year-old, which was a loaded question, like, what do you want for dinner? And of course, I don't know. And then some time went by and he said, I want the lion for dinner that we saw when we looked at the PJ Masks headquarters and we got donuts. And my husband and I looked at each other like, what is he talking about? And then he became like completely impatient and frustrated. And that is totally me. I'm the person who feels like people should just get what I'm thinking. They should just know what I'm talking about. Some of you might be like this too. I'm especially this way with my husband. You should just know what I'm talking about. So what he was actually meaning is he wanted the lion alphagetti that we saw at Walmart when we looked at the toy and the donuts. And like, we don't eat a whole bunch of donuts and alphagetti, but that's what he remembered. So it was so funny. So it's sort of, I'm grateful for my kids teaching me that, I mean, there's lots of really great qualities in my kids that I've taught them, but they're also showing me that I need to work on my patience this week. So I'm super grateful for that. Let me know what you are grateful for this Monday. If you're just joining, we're starting our live training on how to choose a nutrition plan for you with a little bit of gratitude. I'm grateful for my kids and all they teach me, and they help me to be a better person. So come on, guys. There's got to be something you're grateful for. I know a couple of you are on here. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll wait for some of your comments and we'll go ahead and get started. So what is something you're grateful for? I feel like I can't go on until I see some gratitude. Let me know, guys. Dun 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 dun. Okay. So when we have a health and fitness goal, we need to figure out how we are going to achieve that. But more importantly than figuring out exactly what nutrition plan is right for you, we need to first figure out what are motivational factors before that. So we need to figure out what is our why. Why are you doing this? What, maybe you have been recently diagnosed with diabetes and this is like life or death. You have to get your diet under control. Maybe you just want to look great. You want to look great for yourself, you want to look great for your spouse, that's completely fine. Maybe you just hate the way you look, you hate when you go shopping, nothing fits, and you just want a change, you want something that's sustainable. Maybe you're frustrated from trying something and it doesn't work for you, and you just want something that works, something that's sustainable, something that's long-term. So whatever it is, before you decide what nutrition plan is right for you, you need to look at your motivational factors. What is your why? And the thing is, we also need to take action. We can't just keep looking for motivation and looking for motivation, because the more action you take, the more motivated you'll actually become. So number one is figure out why you're doing this, and what is your motivational factor behind it. Terry says, I'm grateful for the love and support of my husband, even when I don't love myself, and for my kids for teaching me new things every day. That is amazing. Awesome, Terry. I love that one. I'm grateful for my husband too. So if you're just joining, we're talking about what nutrition plan is right for you. We started off with saying something we are grateful for, and you're more than welcome to share this video out if you feel like some of your friends and family could benefit from it. So if you also didn't know, you can talk to me through the comment section on this live video. You can ask me questions as we go. I have my notes because I'm type A and I don't want to get too sidetracked, but feel free to post questions and I'm happy to answer them as we go. So how do I decide what's best for me? You know, there's vegan, there's vegetarian, there's Whole30, there's keto, there's paleo. How do we choose? How are we going to choose one that's going to be sustainable for you? There's intermittent fasting, there's the 21-day fix, there's so many meal plans and nutrition plans, and maybe some of your friends are trying one thing and they have similar goals, so you think it's going to work for you, but then it doesn't work. So how do we choose one that's really going to stick for you? It can become completely overwhelming. I know when I was going through med school, we learned so many different types of diets or nutrition plans, and it's like, holy, how can someone possibly read through these and figure out which one's right for them? So often we become overwhelmed, we self-diagnose, and we try something, but it doesn't work. So today we're going to figure out how we can prevent this yo-yoing. We can only truly have motivation for so long, and if it's something that is not enjoyable for you, you can't bear it. We need to think of what we are doing. Is it sustainable for the rest of my life? And yes, things change, and when circumstances change, we can absolutely modify our nutrition plans, but I want you to think today, is what you're doing right now something that you could sustain for the rest of your life? Yes, we're going to adjust, but it has to be sustainable. If this is not something that you can sustain long term and be healthy and be happy, then it's not going to be the nutrition plan that you're going to stick for you. So the best diet is sustainable for the long term. You need something that you can personally adhere to. So that's really, really important. So we talked about motivation, we talked about taking action. Whatever it is, you need to write down your why, what's your motivational factor behind it. So let's pick a plan. So just because something potentially would work for you, just because it's healthy, just because it worked for someone else, doesn't mean that's going to be your plan. So just because it will work for you doesn't mean that it's going to fit with your schedule, within your budget, within your time frame. It doesn't mean that it's going to be something that you are going to enjoy, and it's not something that you might consider long term. So if that makes sense, let me know. Say yes in the comments, raise some hands, do the woo, whatever works for you. So again, just because a nutrition plan may be healthy and may help you get to your health and fitness goals doesn't mean it's going to be the plan for you. That's really important. So if that makes sense, let me know. So this is going to be something that might be controversial, but every nutrition plan, every diet plan that I listed above will work. Every single one restricts your calories in some way. Vegan, vegetarian, you're removing animal-based products. Keto, you're removing carbohydrates or keeping your carbohydrates low. Whole30, you are removing sugar and processed foods. Paleo, you're removing processed foods and sugar. So all these nutrition plans will work because they are restricting calories in some way. But that doesn't mean just because they will work, it's the right plan for you. We have to find something for you that is going to be enjoyable, something that's going to be sustainable, something that's going to be healthy, that takes into consideration your unique needs. So how are we going to choose? How can you possibly choose between all the different nutritional plans out there? Which one is going to be right for you? So I found this online and I really loved it. I think it's a great representation of finding a nutrition plan. So we need to choose one that's going to be both healthy and enjoyable for you. So the happy faces indicate that you enjoy this plan, X's indicate that it's not healthy, and hearts indicate that it is healthy. So over here, maybe you really enjoy the SAD diet, the standard North American Western diet, but it's not healthy. Yes, pizza, French fries, what else is cake, chocolate, donuts. Yes, you might enjoy it, but is it healthy for you? No. Over here, this one is going to be the extreme diet. These ones are both not healthy and you're not going to enjoy it. This is something like the soup, cabbage soup diet, grapefruit, A-white, anything that's really restrictive, really fad, going to get you results fast, but it's not sustainable and it's not healthy. This one over here, maybe it's healthy for you, but you don't enjoy it. It's something like, say I tell you, okay, I need you to eat tilapia and broccoli and rice every single night for dinner for the next 6 months. If you don't like those foods, yes, it's healthy, but if you don't like those foods, it's not going to be enjoyable for you and it's not going to be something that you're going to sustain. So this is where we need to get you. We need to find something that is both healthy and something that you enjoy. Because when it's healthy and it's something that you enjoy and it's sustainable, that is where you're going to see those long-lasting results. That's when you're going to reach your health and fitness goals and you're not going to be back and forth on the yo-yo diet. So that is really important. We need to find something that is both healthy and enjoyable. So if you could write in the comments, so I know that you understand, my ideal diet is one that is healthy and enjoyable. If you write that down, you can write it in the comments, you can write it down somewhere. This is going to really help affirm and commit this to your memory. My ideal diet is one that is both healthy and enjoyable. If you are someone that is not willing to give up chocolate cake and donuts like I am, that is absolutely fine. We can find something for you that is both healthy and enjoyable. Are you going to eat chocolate cake and donuts each and every day? No, but there is ways that you can fit that in to still get that momentum towards your health and fitness goals. So that is really important. Okay, so now, how are we going to choose this? How are we going to choose one that is healthy and enjoyable? Dun, 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 dun. I'm sure I have another visual aid here. Yes. So there. Your ideal diet is healthy and enjoyable. Of course, it's backwards. So how do we find one that's enjoyable? Do you like the taste? Is it something that you enjoy eating? If you do not like the taste of fish, then it doesn't have to be on your nutrition plan. We have to find something that you enjoy eating that tastes good for you, because then you're going to come back and eat it again. Do you have personal preferences? Maybe you're the type of person that you need a cheat day. Maybe you need a day where you don't use MyFitnessPal tracker, and that is absolutely fine. For me, we do family night dinner on Friday, and I don't worry about what food I'm going to eat. My mother-in-law cooks. It's often delicious. We have dessert, and that's completely fine. That is something that I am not willing to give up because that's my personal preference. So do you have something like that that we need to take into consideration so it can be enjoyable for you? The second part is it needs to be healthy, right? We need to optimize our health. A lot of you know that I've studied naturopathic medicine, and if you're following me, chances are you want to achieve a healthier lifestyle, healthier mind, body, nutrition, exercise, etc. So how are we going to make this healthy? So there's two parts where we can think about health. We need to fuel our bodies properly. Yes, nutrients are important, fueling our bodies is important, but also our mindset is really important to keep something sustainable. So we have to think, do you find this plan restrictive? For someone who really enjoys carbohydrates, they may find keto very restrictive because it's restricting something that they really enjoy. So we have to take in consideration your mindset as well. Maybe you really enjoy healthy fats. Well, then keto might be great for you. You might not find it's restrictive at all, and that is great. There's not one plan that is going to be appropriate for everyone. We just have to find something that is healthy and enjoyable for you and doesn't feel restrictive for you. So quality, we need to think about for your mental health. If you are not willing to give up cookies forever, that is fine, but we have to take that into consideration. So we need to think about, is it restrictive? If you are like, I'm not willing to give up cookies, and you do Whole30, which restricts processed foods and sugar, you're going to find that very restrictive. And that's what creates that yo-yo effect, feeling restricted, and that's not what I want for you. We also need to think of what your personality is. For me, there are definitely trigger foods. Anything that's snacky, I can't keep that into my diet because yes, almonds are great, but it's like 10 almonds are great, not a cup of almonds, because you're going to overdo it on calories. You can overdo it on healthy foods. You can overdo it on eggs, you can overdo it on almonds, you can overdo it on avocado, you can overdo it on sweet potatoes and berries. Even though it's healthy, we need to make sure, if you are looking for certain goals such as fat loss, that we sort of restrict your calories even a little bit in some way. So we have to take that into consideration. Are you someone who can have just a little bit? Can you have just a little bit of chocolate cake? Or is that going to set you off into, okay, I had chocolate cake, now I need a little bit more, I need a little bit more. Some people can have a couple chips. I don't understand those people, because if I have a couple chips, I'm going to want the entire bag. And yes, it's getting easier. It is way easier now that I do my carb cycling and intermittent fasting. And the more you do it, the more healthy you become. Yes, those cravings are going to go away. We're going to look at your mindset and it's going to become easier for you. But if you know you're the type of person that just can't have even a little bit in your diet, then that's fine. We're going to take that out. But if you can have a little bit, then we can include that. But it's personal preference. Then we also need to take into consideration your physiological needs. What does your body need? It not only needs protein, carbs, and fats, but it also needs micros. If you are someone, and micros are just micronutrients. If you are someone who has, say, estrogen excess, you're carrying a lot of weight in the lower body as a sign of estrogen excess, you're going to need some extra fiber to regulate your hormones. So we need to take that into consideration as well. We talked about calories, and even though you can overeat on clean food, we need to think about your body composition. If you are someone who just has a little bit of weight to lose, that's going to be a lot different than someone who needs to lose, say, 100 pounds. Our body compositions, our fat compositions, our body requirements are going to be different depending on your goals. So someone who has 100 pounds to lose may do better initially on a higher fat, lower carbohydrate diet, especially if those carbohydrates are trigger foods for them. Someone who is fairly lean already most likely can process those carbohydrates better. They're not likely to have insulin resistance, or maybe they do, but they're probably going to do better on a little bit of a moderate carb, lower fat diet. But again, going back to the mindset, if that feels restrictive for you, that's not going to be healthy and enjoyable for you. Maybe you have travel. Do you travel for work? Is there going to be times that you have to have fast foods? How are we going to incorporate that into your meal plan is going to be really important as well, because if that's the only option, then we need to find ways that are both healthy and enjoyable for you to get that in. We also need to take into consideration medical needs. So maybe you are someone who has a lot of gut issues, and you are finding that when you consume carbohydrates, you're getting bloated, you're getting brain fog, and you're getting gassy. That is a sign of certain gut dysbiosis, and that is fine. We can start off maybe initially with the higher fat diet. Maybe you are someone that just knows if you eat corn is not a good example because none of us can really digest corn, but maybe you're someone that, you just really don't do well with broccoli, then that's fine. We don't have to include that in your diet, so that's something to take into consideration as well. Maybe you're celiac, maybe you have certain unique food sensitivities. That needs to be taken into consideration in your plan as well to help you reach your health and fitness goals. So, what did we talk about? How to have an enjoyable nutrition plan. It has to taste good. You have to enjoy the taste. Is there personal preferences that you like? For me, I'm not willing to give up chocolate cake and donuts, so that's my personal preference, and I found a way to incorporate that into my plan. Next, is it healthy? Does it feel restrictive for you? Maybe your friend really likes keto and it doesn't feel restrictive for her, but if it feels restrictive for you, that is not something that's going to be enjoyable and sustainable for you long term. What is your personality? Do you have must-haves? Is there must-haves in your diet that you are not willing to give up long term? That's fine, but we just need to work that in so that you can still be on momentum to your health and fitness goals. Is it calorie controlled? To lose fat, you do need to restrict your calories in some way. You can overdo it on healthy foods. What is the quality? Are you getting your micronutrients? Are you consuming quality foods that help to reduce inflammation in your body? What is your body composition? We talked about someone who needs to lose 100 pounds is going to have to do something a little bit different than someone who only has a couple pounds to lose, just based on their body fat and their body composition, at least initially. And do you have specific medical needs? So, moving on, now that we know that, we sort of have an idea of what's going to be healthy and enjoyable for us. How do we calculate it? How do we figure this all out? So, here is a nutrient timing chart. It's backwards for you, so I will read it. So at the bottom, the most important thing is going to be your calories, controlling your calories, at least being aware of the amount of calories you're taking in each and every day. The second most important thing is going to be your macros and your micros. We talked about fiber as an example of macros, and macros are just protein, carbs, and fats. So once you know the calories that you need to consume each and every day based off of your current body weight, your goals, your exercise levels, then we can go ahead and we can track or calculate your macros, protein, carbs, and fats. And then nutrient timing and supplements are at the top. They are the least important at helping you reach your health and fitness goals. You do not need supplements to achieve the lean, healthy body you want for 95% of the time. You don't need them. They are just to be supplementing your diet. So, fat loss, most of you are looking for fat loss, so we need to figure out what your calories are going to be. There are tons of calorie calculators online. There is MyFitnessPal will do it. Just find something online that is going to calculate for you what you would burn based on your activity level, and then what it recommends for you to lose a little bit of fat. So I wouldn't recommend doing any more than 0.5 to 1 pound of body weight loss per week. That's not going to be sustainable or enjoyable or healthy for you if you go over even more. We want this to be healthy and enjoyable. Your ideal plan is going to be one that's healthy and enjoyable, and just because it might work doesn't mean that it's necessarily right for you. So next, what do? So you have your calories calculated. Now, the next thing we need to make sure we're getting enough of is protein. Protein is number one. Let me just read an article, just 2 sentences from an article I just saw. It is the protein leverage hypothesis. So what this means is, essentially, if you are not consuming adequate protein, your body is going to force you to overeat until it gets enough protein. So protein is broken down into amino acids, and there are essential amino acids that we need to get from our bodies. Our bodies cannot make them, so we have to contain them in their diet. So the protein leverage hypothesis predicts that humans prioritize protein when regulating food intake. What does this mean? Well, dun dun dun, if we eat an unbalanced diet that contains a low percentage of protein, we will increase the total energy ingestion, so that's just, you're going to increase the total amount of foods you eat in order to get your target protein intake. You're going to have increased appetite, you're going to have increased cravings, and your body's just going to overeat. This I see all the time. If you are doing really well throughout the day and then all of a sudden you are binging at night, chances are you do not have enough protein in your diet throughout the day. So protein is number one. So if you have your total calories, you know that protein per gram contains 4 calories. So proteins and carbohydrates offer 4 calories per gram. We need to calculate how much protein is right for you. Then we can go and figure out how many calories you have left. Now, what do you do with the calories you have left? Well, you're just going to break it down into fats and carbohydrates. What do? Do I want to have higher fats? Do I want to have carbohydrates? It all depends on personal preference and those other things that we talked about, such as body composition. If you are someone that loves your carbohydrates, do a little bit higher carbohydrates, do lower fat. If you are also fairly lean to start out, that's going to work really well for you. If you want moderate levels of both, great. If you are someone that really enjoys your healthy fats, then have higher fats with lower carbs. Whatever is going to feel less restrictive for you is going to be what's right for you. So that is all I want to talk about for you today. If this was helpful, let me know. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. I am happy to answer them as the day goes on. Yeah, so have a great Monday, guys. Talk soon.